Welcome to Community Insight. I am your host, Reverend Dr. Rodney Coles, here giving you information, what's happening in our community. Today we have another special guest, and actually, believe it or not, he is my first guest for 2023. His name is Cameron. Cameron, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you for having me, Pastor Coles.
All right. Now, you're going to share a lot of information with us. So, you're with an organization, a group called Hope is Alive. I mean, that's a strong word, man. Hope is alive. What is Hope is Alive?
Hope is Alive is a faith-focused sober mentoring program. We have 25 homes across the United States, wow, and it is a sober living mentoring program. Residents come in for a minimum of 12 months, and it's a 3-phase program. We work through getting the person out of the addiction, finding out the causes of the addictions. We break through their process addictions, which can be anything from gambling to too much time at the gym, gaming, pornography. Anything that's not a chemical addiction is considered a process addiction. Codependency, sex and love addiction. We break through all of those things and build them up, let them know that they're worthy. And once they graduate, we make sure that they're set up for success out there, outside of our program.
So what I'm listening is that, actually what I'm hearing is that it's like a program dealing with people who have an addiction. It could be pornography, or it could be dealing with, drugs or...
Our mission statement is Hope is Alive exists to radically change the lives of drug addicts, alcoholics, and those that love them.
Yeah. And you said something that when I'm gonna piggyback on this for a minute. When you talk about drugs, a lot of people get so involved in drugs for so many different reasons. Where dealing with a finance issue. We had this thing called, we all heard of it, called the pandemic, the virus, whatever, COVID-19. But the thing is that there's been so many people that bought liquor. The liquor's, I mean, maybe just me. Maybe I was probably seeing it in my own. But I seen so many liquor stores was being built during the pandemic, and I saw those places so crowded that I thought they was giving out free liquor, So with something like that, people could get addicted because they're being depressed and going through so much in their life. And this is a place where they looking for help, because a lot of times we could look for help, but we don't want help, but we want help, and there's nowhere to find help. So that's what I'm hearing, that Hope is Alive. That is kind of what you guys do. Help those who's already on the ground, who's looking for help.
That's right. We bring people in. Men and women come from all areas. Prisons, homeless, to successful business people with houses and families. Addiction, there's no specific individual that addiction attacks. It attacks everyone, all walks of life. What we aim to do is get past those traumatic events, deal with the traumatic events that someone lives with on a day-to-day basis that they may not want to talk about. We have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And once we get past how to deal with those events, we get closer to being our true selves again.
Now, here you have this passion for it. Explain to me. It got to be a story behind here. Tell me your story.
Well, I am actually a resident of the program now. I'm in the 3rd phase of the program. As I mentioned, it's a 3-phase program. I grew up here in Greenville, North Carolina, right down the road in Farmville. Spent a lot of time here in Greenville. By the time I was 21 years old and could go out to bars and go out and purchase my own alcohol, it didn't take long for me to become a full-blown alcoholic. And it's 15 years in that addiction. I lost jobs. I lost friends, pushed family away, legal trouble of all kinds. And there was a time where I went a year and a few months that I didn't drink, but something was missing, and I didn't know what it was. And I went through a breakup, and that my sobriety lasted about 2 weeks after that, and I went back to what I knew how to make people like me again, and that would get that feeling of adequacy that I could get that came from alcohol and people's attention. So I got right back into that negative spiral. And then it all came to a head this past February. It's been almost a year since I was arrested. And on my third day in jail, I got to speak to my family on the phone, and they told me about a gentleman named Eric Morris and a program that he was involved with called Hope is Alive Ministries. And they told me it was a year long, that I had to be gone, and I was not enthusiastic about it, to keep it polite. I didn't want to be away from my son for that long.
I understand.
So that conversation ended, and called again the next day, and they told me more about it, about the freedom that I would have being in Hope is Alive, and the network I would have the opportunity to build with the other residents, the community that I would get to be involved in. And I said yes. March of 2022, I entered into our Beaufort home for men. And as of November, Eric Morris is now my director. He's my boss.
Wow. See, God turned it around for you.
Came full circle. And now I get to see guys come in and just watch this transformation happen, where they come in and they feel like all is lost. Like they're at the end of the road. And days go by, and then days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and you just see them develop these relationships. You see them get a best buddy in the house. You get to see them get involved in the community. You get to see them discover hobbies. You get to see guys enjoying life for what life can be. And they don't have to be high, they don't have to be drunk, they don't have to be chasing something that is really a fleeting moment every time you use.
Man, just hearing your story, you brought me into this picture here where, you're not just there that you heard about it, but you actually experience and understand it as others listen to this broadcast, understanding that we're dealing with something, and this is a blockage, and sometimes that blockage that we doesn't go no further, but this is a Christian-based program that, there's that forgiveness is the most key thing of anything, and I love the point that it's a faith-based Christian, because it's about forgiveness. I may say something on the air, I get in trouble all the time, but even where those officers have done something wrong to that young man and killed them, it's still about forgiveness. We don't have that. We have to have that forgiveness. And sometimes other people feel that you've done wrong, and they always talking about the wrong that you done, but trying to not looking inside the man where of the forgiveness and to go through it. If you're speaking with somebody right now, because you've been through this program, there's classes you mentioned, there's different phases. I kind of heard that.
Yes.
And so break down the phases and which phase does what. If you can, just break it down a little bit for us.
Okay, so phase one, we really focus on the person.
Okay.
We want to get them a sponsor through either Narcotics Anonymous or Alcoholics Anonymous, and they work through 7 of the 12 steps. They need to establish a way to pay off all debts that they've accrued.
Wow.
There's 3 books that they have to read. One of that is Hope is Alive, which is written by our founder, Lance Lang. They are to read the gospel.
Amen.
They go to 30 meetings in 30 days, and they also participate in what we call House of Give Back Days. That's where we go out into the community as a home and help at a food pantry or help with for an example, Habitat for Humanity or Reach Global, help with the disaster relief. So we do that in phase one. And there's other aspects to it. It's been a while since I've been through it, so there's a lot to it. Phase two is when we focus on breaking down the process addictions and really diving into codependency. For instance, my codependent traits are people-pleasing, perfectionism, and obsession. So if I don't do something right, it's really going to take me in a negative light. I'll obsess about it and focus on the things that I did wrong or what I could have done better instead of, highlighting to myself where I was successful in a task. So we break down the process addictions. Then there's a financial goal for each resident to save $1,000.
Wow.
They need to save $1,000. Phase three, and there's more to that too. You have to finish the final 5 steps of the Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous 12-step program, and then you get into one of our 12-step programs, which is Codependency Anonymous or Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous. And they both have their own curriculum, and you do get a sponsor through that, which would be a resident in the home. So you have someone there. If I'm acting out in my perfectionism, my sponsor can be, hey man, we need to stop and talk about this, what's going on. And it's accountability there. And then phase 3, which I've just gotten into, it's really preparing us as individuals for our departure from the program and helping carry the message of HIA as well as being a productive member of society. We have to have a relapse prevention plan in place. We have to be able to identify the people and the places that we need to avoid to protect our recovery. We need to have a home church. We need to have our finances squared away, and it's just a lot of different aspects that goes into that radical life change over the course of time. 30, 60, 90-day programs, they serve a great purpose. We consider ourselves kind of the last step.
Wow, that is, I know there's a lot into Hope is Alive, and you have a website, but I want you, if you could give them the website. In the meanwhile, I want to just throw this out. I also realized that Satan used 3 devices to kind of destroy anybody down. It could be a man or woman. These are the 3 devices that he used that you can find this, whether the house being destroyed or a church or a business or marriages, is sex, drugs, or money. One of them he used, that destroy us. That's his main device. But y'all have set up a system that whatever you're going through, we have those components that we'll work with you through. And that is so important. We have a gospel singer. I don't want to put him on the line here. I might get in trouble, be sued. But he was really so stuck into pornography. You understand? And then, one thing leads to another. But you need to have, what y'all guys also have is called a mentor. Y'all have mentor that works with men's and women's. That is so important. Because we need mentor. I have a mentor. He's one pastor. We could sit down. We could talk about the world and be freely. And could you explain a little about the mentor? But then I want you to give everybody the website, because some people looking at say, how do I get this information? How do I get the phone number? How do I get connected? My daughter, my son, they're going through it, and y'all are not going to listen to the parents. The parents are going to try to find you help, but you're not going to listen to the parents, and that starts in the house, and then, yelling and cursing and disrespecting the house because you're going through something.
Right.
But there's a place for them, and they need to go. But before we get to the phone number, explain a little bit about the mentor program. Then can you give us the phone number or how we could get connected to this?
Right. So we have 10 culture codes, but the most important one is Jesus is always the answer. And there's a man in our home that is our program manager. It is his job to shepherd our men through the program and disciple them closer to Jesus. That's the ultimate goal, is to get everyone back to their true self and closer to Jesus. Now, there's several ways to get in contact with us. Okay. One is our website. It's hopeisalive.net. You can find all of our resources there, our referral programs. Once you've contacted us, our recruitment outreach team will reach out to you, and you can either do an application on the website or over the phone. And once that application is received, you'll actually pick which area you want to go to, because someone from Greenville may not want to stay in Greenville. They may want to get as far away from it as possible.
I only know nobody here.
And they can go as far west as Colorado Springs if they'd like.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So once you have identified which market you want to move to, that program manager will reach out to you and begin a further interview process to help you get into the home. We have scholarship programs if financing for the $750 deposit to get in is an issue. There's church sponsorships. We have diversity scholarships. There are a number of ways. We're going to do everything we can to help you get here. It's not our job to turn you away. It's to help you figure out how to get what you're looking for and receive that help.
Wow. When I'm listening to when you mentioned the key thing, that it's not just the scholarship, but the part is that we could choose a different location. As a lot of our pastors, they are being burned down. They're going through things, but they can't. It's hard for them to be in the same location. If they went somewhere else, I asked a question to a psychiatrist. I said, is there any way we could do where you don't see their face and their voice could be changed or something and they can talk to you? They said no, because they deal with their license. But to hear this is that, hey, sometimes a different environment getting out, that means a whole lot. I've never seen a program that have similar to that, where they can do the application and then they choose, say, I might want to go to whatever your location is at. And you have about 25 different locations. Am I correct?
Right.
25 different locations. That any of those 25 locations, I could choose one of those, and then if they can't pay the $750, but it's probably more than $750, because $750 is too cheap, man.
No, sir.
That's
it's $750.
That's a truck payment, man. I make monthly. That's not no money. Because wow, and that's all it is. Like I'm quite sure somebody can find that. Oh man, that's not even wow.
So that's just the deposit to get in. The residents are expected to pay rent, $600 a month.
Still can't beat that.
No.
I mean, I'm paying $2,400 a month.
when you weigh the money against what they're getting back in their life,
it doesn't balance.
You can't compare it,
man. So if somebody want to get online, he gave us the website. There's a website they can get on. What about people that's looking at this broadcast and say, listen, man, this is a great program. I like to sponsor somebody and would like to contribute just a deposit or something. How could they do that?
Okay. Donations can go to givehia.com. You can do that, or you can reach out to me directly at Cameron@hopeisalive.net, and we can help you facilitate that. We love donors. We are a grassroots organization. We don't accept any state or federal funding, because once you do that, they tell you what you can and can't do. Right?
That's
and
true.
we're all about bringing people closer to Jesus. And so we do rely heavily on gifts from the community and churches and businesses. So I'd be happy to help anyone facilitate that desire to donate to the program. Another way, right now we are in our global supply drive. We're having our global supply drive. That is from now until February 23rd, we are trying to accumulate all of the cleaning supplies and home maintenance tools that we need to get through the year. Because in the home, the residents, we maintain the homes. Any major repairs, we'll get a contractor. But cleaning the home, taking care of the lawn, all of that's us. And that is part of the program to instill a sense of ownership, because it's not an institution that we're in. It's not a facility. It's not a medical outpatient center. It is a home that we live in, and we want to teach each and every one of the residents how to respect, be proud of where they are. That way, as simple as making a bed every morning. Because personally, I love coming home to my bed being made. It's calming to see.
Yeah, no,
it's something's in order. Things are in order, things are in place. It just alleviates stress. Something as simple as washing the dish and putting it away. You know where it's at when you want it the next time. And it's just little things like that make us so different.
So you're having this where people could donate this stuff. What day is that taking place, and how do we find the location?
Okay, so we do have a partner for a drop-off location, which is Grace Church on Charles Boulevard. You can drop off cleaning supplies there. But we also have an Amazon list where you can purchase an item directly, and it'll go right to the front door of the home.
Wow.
Yeah, so kind of a little bit easier.
So how do we get on the Amazon list? Do we get, it's on your website, or do we go to Facebook? Or?
You can find the link on our Facebook, or you can email me directly, and I can send you the link.
Okay. And what's your email address?
It's Cameron, Cameron, at hopeisalive.net.
And what is your telephone number? What number we can reach you at? Because, most time people say, I want to talk to you. I always believe a personal touch is better than a preaching word. So they want to talk to me. They don't want to talk to nobody else. But how can they get up with you? Is a good number? Is it an email or call the office?
Email's the best. Then that's just for me, because it helps me keep track of who I've spoke to and what we talked about. But, email's the best route for me.
And you have another event that's coming up Sunday down.
We do. We have a very, very wonderful event coming up in April. It'll be April 13th. It's called our Inspiring Lunch. We will be reaching out to local businesses and churches and individuals for sponsorships. That's going to be April 13th from 11:30 to 1. And it's going to be at Brook Valley Country Club.
Okay. And that information on the website as well?
It will be soon.
Okay.
We're making the official announcement with you.
Okay. Wow. I got first peep at it, right? So for those who's looking at the broadcast, if you could give them your website address, your information, and there's anything you want to say to them, because we're coming close towards the end. Anything you want to say that's from your heart, do you want to say to the people?
Right. So Hope is Alive, as I said, our mission statement. Hope is Alive exists to radically change the lives of drug addicts, alcoholics, and those that love them. If you know someone, or if you need help yourself, please reach out to us. We want to help you get to that place in your life where you're happy and whole. You can reach me at Cameron at hopeisalive.net, or you can go directly to our website, which is hopeisalive.net, or you can call our Hope line, which is 1-844-HOPE-NOW. Don't wait, because sometimes we're here to save lives, and someone you love could be that next life. So please don't wait. Reach out to us. Let us help.
Again, I thank you for being on the broadcast. As you have heard, we have a program here, Hope is Alive. They have facilities here and in 25 other areas. This is the time to make the change for those who are dealing with addiction, or your children or your loved one. Make the phone call, get on the website, help them. And for those who can make a donation, make the donation. It's not about money. It's about making a difference in people's life. God bless, and we'll see you at the next broadcast.